Hello YouTube, Jon Porter here from Tech Radar, and I've just spent a week with the iRobot Roomba 980, which is the current top-of-the-line model in the Roomba series of robotic vacuum cleaners. We've got a full review coming on the website soon, but we wanted to show you what it's like to actually live with a robot vacuum cleaner for a week, to find out its strengths and its weaknesses when you actually get it into your flat. Hello, so I finally gotten the iRobot Roomba 980 home. It is now sitting happily, charging, ready to go on its maiden voyage. I just thought I'd give you a quick tour around my house, just to kind of give you an idea of like what sort of environment the Roomba's going to have to deal with. But over here we of course have steps. Now the Roomba advertises that it's able to see drops coming and it won't be a problem, so you can just press that button and the Roomba will start off. But I'm going to try and set it to go off remotely. See how that goes. So here's the app here. You are given the option of naming your Roomba. Mine is called Nigel. Now we have the big clean button here. So the app does give you the ability to schedule in cleaning sessions, which I will be trying out later on. But for now, I'm just going to manually press this button and start it cleaning. It's quite loud, so not the kind of thing you'd want to be going whilst you're sleeping. Okay. In case you didn't hear that, I just got an error message saying, please clean Roomba debris extractors. I feel like the first time I use this thing, because it is so thorough, it actually doesn't work that well the first time, because it needs to be emptied quite a number of times. 20 minutes into its second run of the house, and the warning light to say that its bin is full is already on. If it can't manage a full run of the flat without its bin needing to be emptied, there's no hope for me, leaving it to run whilst I'm out at work or something. So the bin capacity issue is looking like a pretty major one. Make sure that any bits of string lying around on the floor, that you kind of get them out of the Roomba's path, because it will get stuck and it will then have to call for help. A flawless dismount there from the iRobot Roomba 980. I think I need to empty its bin now. There are kind of little clumps of dust that's left around, so where it's kind of like picked up dust and then moved on and kind of left a little bit behind. But I mean, like I said, other than that, it's pretty good. I think I'm going to try and use the Roomba as something of an alarm clock tomorrow morning to wake me up. So the way I'm going to do that is by using the app to schedule it to start cleaning when I would normally get up. So it works. If you're thinking about doing this yourself, it might be a little bit too loud for using it this time in the morning. Just something to think about. Alright, so I've got the Roomba set to clean at midday today. It is currently 11:59, so let's see what happens on the app. Oh, it's 12. Cleaning in progress, he's off. So I've just checked up on Nigel. It's about an hour or so since he started on his midday run, and it looks like his dustbin is full again. Okay, so I'm just arriving home now. If everything has gone to plan, the Roomba should now be sitting in its dock, happily waiting for me. The floor is looking fairly clean, fairly hoovered. And yeah, there it is. Now the full bin light is flashing, which makes sense given that earlier today the app was warning me that its bin was full. I have just found this though, because if I'm going to have to go around my house picking up little bits of dust, that's not the most convenient thing in the world. So another nice thing I'm realising is that because the Roomba runs on batteries, it can reach parts of the house that we haven't been able to hoover in quite a while because a power cord literally doesn't reach them. One such area is the bottom of our stairs down here. The glitter challenge. Ooh. So what I've got here is I've got some decorations that were left over, and I'm going to take these things, I'm going to place them in various locations throughout my flat. Then at the end, I'm going to give the Roomba a score based on how many of these it managed to pick up. Now, I'm going to put some of these in places where I know the Roomba is almost certainly going to find it. I'm going to place others in areas where I know the Roomba has a little bit of trouble sometimes, and find out how many of them the Roomba got. So the two that it failed to pick up, one of them was in the corner of a room, and then the second one was a very high rug and it was kind of tucked underneath. Another quick update on the Roomba, just seen something a little bit worrying. This has come free. Looks like it's a fairly simple fix, nothing too horrendous. Still a little bit worrying that that would happen. We're out in the countryside, which is fun. My flat has never been cleaner. So I'm gonna set it on a run. Probably doesn't need to do a run. It's not gonna pick up that much dirt anymore. But to be honest, I've got it. Why would that be an issue? I set Nigel to go off and do a clean yesterday, and I've just checked on him this morning to see exactly how he got on. The message I'm getting is, Null's bin is full, please empty the dustbin. Nigel doesn't appear to be charging, which seems to suggest that he's kind of gotten stuck somewhere away from his charging station and he can't get back to it in order to charge himself up. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to discover when I go back to the flat this evening. I've just come in, I've seen where it's finished, which is just here in the hallway. It's a bit weird, really. I thought that something had happened, like it had gotten caught on something, so it hadn't been able to make its way back. But I mean, it looks like it's literally just run out of battery. Also, its bin is empty. Day 6 update. I've just spoken with my flatmates. I found out why the Roomba didn't make it round its cleaning cycle yesterday. And the reason is, whilst me and 3 of my flatmates were away for the weekend, I didn't know this, but my 4th flatmate was actually at home yesterday. So he was sitting downstairs trying to get some work done. And what happened was the Roomba went off. He saw it going off, thought, oh, that's a little bit strange, and then turned it off, which explains why it was randomly, it hadn't made it back to its docking station, it was just out in the middle of the hallway, because he turned it off and then thought, rather than disturbing or anything, just leave it there, you know, and then there's no chance of like picking it up and breaking anything, that sort of stuff. So, top tip for anyone who's using a Roomba, make sure the house is going to be empty when you use it, or at the very least, if there are going to be people in, then you know, let them know you're going to be sending a robot vacuum cleaner to do your dirty work. So after having spent an entire week with the Roomba, I was actually very impressed with it. It found its way around my flat very, very well. And I really liked the fact that even though it couldn't get up the stairs itself, I could kind of manually take it upstairs and just give it a quick run around upstairs. Having said that, it's not something you can delegate to entirely. It's something that you kind of have to supervise a little bit. I found that if I had any shoes around with laces hanging out, it would sometimes get caught up in those laces and kind of cause problems. And I didn't want the Roomba to get broken, so I'd then step in and kind of help it out and that sort of thing. Another problem is the size of its dustbin, which filled up very, very quickly. This did get better as I kind of used the Roomba more and more, and there was just less dirt around. So if you had one of these yourself, I'd probably recommend running it at least a couple of times a week so that the floor doesn't get too dusty, because then the Roomba will suffer. The battery life was really good though. It happily ran for over 2 hours or so, and I didn't ever feel that that was a massive problem with the Roomba when I was using it. In conclusion, the Roomba 980 is a very smart and very powerful piece of tech, but there's no getting around the fact that it is very expensive. Personally, at this point, I wouldn't be prepared to spend the amount of money that the Roomba 980 costs, but if you are looking to spend that amount of money on a robot vacuum cleaner, you could definitely do a lot worse than this model. So thank you so much for watching, but we want to hear from you. Do you have any questions about the iRobot Roomba 980, or are there any other products that you'd like me to try out for a week? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.